Hey guys, Junger here. I want to talk to you today about how people read online and how you should build your content and design your content on your website accordingly. So newsflash, people do not read online. This has been a well-known fact for probably 20 years at this point, that people don't actually read, they scan, okay? A lot of times when there's a content on the screen on your monitor, it makes it incredibly difficult to actually read it like you would read something from a book. And I'm not necessarily talking about phones or tablets here, but let's just kind of talk about more, traditional kind of desktop monitors or laptop monitors. When there's a lot of content on the screen, it can be incredibly overwhelming to the eye, especially if it's just paragraphs and paragraphs of text that don't have a lot of formatting or any other kind of elements to make things look different. So what you really need to do is you need to focus on ways to make sure that your content, if it is wordy, if you have a lot of things to say, if you've got, if you've got a lot of text that has to be shown on the screen, that you break it up in such a way that it looks visually interesting to people and doesn't look overwhelming to the eye. So, I mean, obviously the internet just allows you to click around and do anything that you want. So if somebody's on your website and they think that your content looks overwhelming, they're just going to go do something else. I mean, unless there's like some very specific reason that they have to read everything, like maybe they're filling out a college application or a job application form, something like that, where they want to make sure they get every detail right. If you're putting content up on your website, especially if it's content marketing or it's your newsletter or whatever it is, you have to make sure that you are keeping your audience's attention as much as possible. And the way that you do that is you make sure that the content doesn't look overwhelming. So here are 3 quick tips that you can do to make your content look visually interesting on the page so that when people are scanning, they don't get overwhelmed. Number 1, break up long sentences into bullet points, okay? Any opportunity that you can have to take what would otherwise be kind of lengthy sentences and do bullet points so that people can easily see them, do it, okay? It makes things a lot easier. Don't worry about, making sure that the language that you have is specific. If the writer or the editor says, that they've got a sentence for you, do your best to try and make it as to the point with bullet points as you possibly can. Number 2, make sure you use good headers for everything, okay? It's very important to have headers, H2 tags, H3 tags. They really break up the content in ways that when you are scanning, as a reader, you can see, okay, this section is about this, that section is about that. Obviously, that's important for readers. It's also very important for SEO, as we know, to have those right header tags in there. Number 3, use images and other visual elements as necessary and where appropriate. So, obviously if you have photos that can go along with like a section of your content, great, do that. Try and put it off to the side, maybe do a full width banner or something like that, just so the reader sees that, hey, it's not just text after text after text. That's kind of, looks really difficult to read. You can also use things like horizontal rules, it's just kind of like a straight line that goes in between different areas of it. Use the elements that you can have that are relevant to the content to put in there. Maybe it's like a sidebar, a little section of a did you know box or something like that in there. Make sure you do your best to take content that is really long, that can look overwhelming, and make it as easy as possible for the reader to digest. And you do that with the right visual elements in there, breaking it down and making sure that the content is easy to scan. See you guys.